Today, I'm going to take you all along for a little ride. I'm going to take you from a ride from the hood in Washington Heights through a storm, and through that ride together, I'm going to tell you about a fast pass that I'm going to give you to enterprise tech that I wish I had when I was going through my career. So buckle in. So, $1.99, $1.45. In the 70s, when I was growing up, $1.99, that's how much my shoes cost. They were called Skippies in the hood. There's even a little song, Skippies. They cost $1.99, Skippies. They make your feet feel fine. And $1.45 was minimum wage. That equates to $3,000 a year. And if you had 2 working parents, that's $6,000 a year. That's before taxes, before childcare, before rent, and food. That was my reality growing up in Washington Heights. And we are not talking Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights on Broadway in the Heights. I am talking St. Nicholas Avenue, Washington Heights in the Heights. I'm talking Crack Central in the Heights. How many of you had expectations when you were growing up? What expectations did people have for you? Go to a good school, get a great job, get married, have a nice house in the suburbs, have 2 kids, right? Sound familiar? My expectations, outside of my parents, outside of a couple of teachers, the expectations that people had for me: teenage mom, GED, maybe an administrative job if I was lucky. Those were not my expectations. I was a good student. I made it through New York City public schools, some of the toughest ones, but also some of the best ones. I got accepted to the Bronx High School of Science. Yay! One of the toughest, the hardest New York City schools to get into. And from there, I went to NYU. Not too shabby either. Yeah. So I graduated from NYU with a degree in liberal arts, industrial psychology, and classics. What am I going to do with that? So here I was with this degree, and I'm like, hey, I'm out of college, right? I want to be challenged. So what do? Where can you learn tech from the ground up? Is it a startup? Multiple choice questions. Startup, big company, IBM, telco maybe, big tech company. Wall Street. So picture this. I'm out of college. I want a challenge. I apply for an information technology training program at Morgan Stanley. Go through my phone screen. I get a call back for my second interview. I get invited to a super Saturday. I don't know what was so super about a Saturday, but it was a Saturday that I got invited to. And what happens when you're excited about like a callback for a job, right? Do you talk to people? Like you say, hey, I got this great opportunity. So I did that. Talked to a few people. And I was surprised at some of the reactions. Some of the reactions were, have you looked in the mirror lately? You got a callback from Morgan Stanley, as in like blue-blooded Wall Street investment bank Morgan Stanley? You? Did you take a look at your last name? And by the way, there was no Kwok then. It was just Ramos. I had not married my Chinese-American husband yet. So I was determined. So what do? As all women, you're going to get ready for a big day. I went shopping. I got myself a really nice suit for my big Super Saturday. So I walk in the room. It's a big room, kind of like this, conference room, auditorium. It's 100 people interviewing for a class of 12. So super competitive. So I walk in, looking in my suit. What do I see? All around me. It was a sea of navy blue and white. And if it was today, maybe we'd see hoodies, right? But like navy blue and white. And I walk in, feeling good, brown-colored girl. I'm wearing a green suit. I rocked it. And I got the job. Yeah. So I got the job, and in that job, I learned a very valuable skill. I learned to code. In my class, there were 12 people. 3 women. I was one of them. I was the only Hispanic in that class. That training program led me to a very successful career in 2 great firms, Morgan Stanley and later Bank of America, where I currently work. So, how many of you have a job? How many of you have a career? Good. So then you know this. You know that careers are a journey. They're a ride. They're a long road trip. That road trip has hills, valleys, maybe a couple detours, but it's a ride. It's a journey. This was my journey. And I started at the very bottom. I started at the bottom of the hill as a trainee. Early on in my career, those stops along the way, they came fast. They were at a good clip. It's like, this is good. And then, as you could see from my little ladder there, what's the big job on Wall Street that you want? What do you strive for? You want to strive for MD, managing director. That's like the big thing to get through. Maybe in tech, it's like, you want to be a founder, right? You want to be a CTO. But that was like the big thing. Not each of those rungs are the same. Because that last rung, that's tough. That was a tough one, getting to managing director. But that was the goal. And again, I was determined. Word association exercise. Lattice. Jungle gym. Ladder. Race. Those words are words that people use to talk about navigating your careers. I've been there. I've navigated. I've done all those things. I've had different roles: application developer, led teams, disaster recovery, managed big data centers, testing, disaster recovery, budget management, leading people, global roles, regional roles. I had them all along. Another question for you. Some of them lateral, some of them not. Any of you bought a bag today? Wallet. You have stuff in your bag, right? You have the essentials, right? Maybe you have some things like what if. Sometimes you carry a Band-Aid in case something happens to you, right? Like, carry all sorts of stuff. Throughout your career, think about your skills wallet. What do you have in your wallet? What do you have in your skills wallet? Throughout my career, on this rung, on my path, as I evaluated roles, I was thinking about what do I put in my skills wallet? Infrastructure management, check. People management, check. Budget management, that's important. Leading people, that's important. Pick up those skills, right? You can acquire for that next role. That's really important. Through that, I've managed very, very large data centers at Morgan Stanley and other roles. Not just managing day-to-day those data centers, but also the what if? What if it goes down? What do? You got to be prepared. You have to have a backup. You got to test it, that it works. You got to time it so you know exactly how long that takes. This is the enterprise technology that fuels our very connected world. Data available everywhere. AI, analytics, cloud. Can't live without our data everywhere. That's what fuels enterprise technology. Going on the road. It's nice when it's nice and smooth. But what happens? This situation happen to you? You're on the road, and you're moving. You're moving a little slow, but you're moving. You look at the lane next to you. It's moving fast. What do you feel like when you're in that situation? I want to get on that lane. I want to get on the fast lane. How do I do that? That last rung, when I was getting to managing director, I got stuck along the way. Wasn't happening. Wasn't moving. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I was doing well. I was surely making a lot more than the minimum wage that my parents raised me on. That was not my expectation. I wanted more. So how do you get unstuck? I'm going to give you some road rules. So it's my little way of giving you the playbook, my road rules. So road rule is, to get unstuck in your career, you really need someone else in your car with you. What you need to get you unstuck, you need a sponsor. You need an advocate. So when I was stuck, I went to my manager and I had the talk. That talk was hard. What I wanted to hear was, it's going to be okay. You're going to get there. What I needed to hear was, you're stuck. People have perceptions about you, and you need to work to change those perceptions. You need to be more versatile. How do you do that? Okay, so how do you get noticed? Multiple choice question. Get on the hottest project there is. Wait for the big project to come to you. Do nothing because you kind of deserve it and you worked hard and it will come. Volunteer for a tough assignment that no one else wants. I did D. I volunteered for the tough assignment that no one else wants. So in all organizations, you get audited, right? You have ratings of how you're doing. It's not uncommon. And when I was at Morgan Stanley, we had a number of open audit issues, and our CIO wanted to understand the themes behind all those audit issues. And it was a lot of stuff to go through. It was a data analysis exercise. But it was like, a lot of grunt work. And somebody needed to do it. Whoever did that analysis was going to get to present to the CIO. I needed that. I needed to present to the CIO. I needed to be seen as someone who could do something more than just all the other things that I'd been doing in infrastructure. So I raised my hand, and I took on that assignment, and I presented to the CIO. And my manager, who gave me that opportunity, he became my sponsor. Sponsors are earned relationships. You need to earn that relationship. And I earned it through hard work. But they're earned relationships. So, road rule, volunteer for tough assignments. Add to your skills wallet. I'm still adding to my skills wallet. Learned robotics this year at Bank of America. Adding to it. Keep adding to that. Work hard. How many of you know someone who's really, really tough on you? Is it your boss? Another multiple choice question. Is it your boss? Your boss's boss that's really tough on you? Maybe a colleague or a peer that's really tough on you? Do you know who's your toughest person that you encounter? You. You are your toughest person. How many of you get performance evaluations? What do you jump to? What do you look at first? What you need to improve, right? What do you need to work on? All those things, that's what you devour that. You're you're on it. What I have found, don't forget what got you there. How do you know how you show up every day? What are your strengths? I'm going to give you a little exercise. You can do this. Actually, you can maybe even start today. When you get back to wherever you work, I want you to go and ask people that you work with, senior people, junior people, ask your peers, ask them to give you 3 words to describe you. Make a list. Keep it going. Make a word cloud out of it. That's my word cloud. That's my list. That is how you show up every day. Those strengths, that's what got you to where you are, and that's going to also help you to get to where you want to go, to that destination that you plug into your GPS. That's what's going to get you there. Road rule. Know your strengths. Leverage them every day. And that's the exercise to get you there. So, back on the road with Rosa. We're driving. And we are in New York, right? Sometimes in New York, you encounter potholes, right? Potholes in New York are really big, right? So I encountered a little bit of a storm situation. October 2012. Hurricane Sandy, Superstorm Sandy, one of the deadliest, costliest hurricanes ever to hit the US. That October, it was headed straight for New York City. It was going right to the financial district. So here's a question. Does power electronics, and water mix? You don't have to be an enterprise tech to know the answer to that one. No. So what happens if you have a storm that's coming and your data center is in downtown Manhattan? Got to get out of there. Got to exit. So Superstorm Sandy, unexpected, we prepared for that storm. And it really brought together all the skills that I had acquired. My skills wallet, I took it out. Taking out cards, right? Because I had to coordinate and lead both the getting out of the data center to make sure that we had gone to our backup, to make sure that our people were out of there, how to make sure that we recovered, how to make sure we had the proper risk management about the stability of the environment throughout Superstorm Sandy, and it was months for recovery. How to coordinate with facilities and building management to get generators on flatbed trucks. Any of you been in downtown Manhattan during Superstorm Sandy? It was a sea of generators out there, right? All over the place. All of that. You never know when you're going to get there, right? One other thing that actually helped me also with Superstorm Sandy that was on my word cloud is being compassionate. You've had a lot of water in a building, people coming back to work, they're worried about things like mold. What's the air quality like? Making sure that you advocate for those individuals who are concerned about coming back to the environment. And so being passionate, being compassionate, that worked too. That helped me too. So recap. Rosa's road rules. Number 1 road rule. Get a sponsor. You need company on your road trip. Number 2, volunteer for tough assignments. Add to your skills wallet. Number 3, know who you are. Know your strengths. Know where you came from. Bring it every day. This was my 101. I'm still going. I'm still going on my car. I'm still traveling. I'm still acquiring skills. On that trip that I just took all of you through, now all of you know a Latina in enterprise tech. You want some company? Call me on your trip. I'd like some. Because it's up to us as women to make sure that I'm not the only Hispanic managing director, the first managing director to get promoted, Hispanic managing director to get promoted at Morgan Stanley, that I'm not the first. I won't be the last, but it'll happen because of all of us coming together and making that happen. So on my car at Bank of America, we're looking for great women. Talk to me. I want to get to know you. Go on the road with you. And by the way, $1.99, these boots cost a whole lot more.